This is Game Pass Roulette, a series where I use a wheel to randomly select which game I'll be playing off the Game Pass. I will then attempt to get every single achievement within this game. So let's jump into it and spin that wheel.
So after playing the absolute classic that was My Friend Peppa Pig, I think it's probably fair to assume that whatever I get this time is going to be better. So let's give the wheel a spin and see what we are playing next then. Watch Dogs 2. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at it.
Watch Dogs 2 is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft and released in 2016. It's a sequel to Watch Dogs 2 and is set in a fictionalized version of San Francisco Bay Area. This game follows Marcus Holloway, a young skilled hacker who joins DedSec, a hacker collective fighting against corporate surveillance and government. With the help of DedSec members, Marcus works to expose the corruption of Bloom Corporation, the developers of CTOS 2.0. The game revolves around taking down corrupt corporations, government agencies, and tech moguls using hacking, stealth, and action-packed missions. Before jumping into the video, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button as it goes a massive way. So let's jump into this and get all the achievements in Watch Dogs 2. I hope you enjoy. You start the game by controlling Marcus Holloway, who has the online alias as Retro. Using stealth, you've got to sneak through into the Bloom servers to erase Marcus's identity. Bloom are a technology company that specialises in communication technologies, information technologies, as well as security technologies. This basically means that there is a worldwide network that is controlled solely by Bloom. Marcus needs to be able to erase his identity to be able to join the hacker group DedSec. Once you do all of this, you'll get the first achievement of the game, Who Am I?
We've got unfinished business.
After you manage to erase your identity and join DedSec, you wake up on the beach with no pants on. Obviously, going around San Francisco, you can't really be doing this, as I can't imagine it's very acceptable. If you head over to any clothing shop nearby and buy a pair of pants and equip them, you'll then complete the mission and also get the achievement, Put Your Damn Pants On. After finishing the first mission and successfully erasing your identity, you are now free to explore San Francisco. This to me is definitely one of the highlights of the game because the open world just feels real and lived in. This now gives you the opportunity to pick up some of the miscellaneous achievements nice and early into the game. The first of these that I went for was Apping Around. To get this achievement, you have to go into your phone and download every single app in the App Store. Some of them do have a price, but you do start with a little bit of money, so you're able to get all of them right at the beginning. Once you've bought the final one, the achievement will then unlock. The next of these achievements is Photobombed. To get this, you just have to take a selfie and have someone photobomb you. This isn't guaranteed when you point the camera at some people because occasionally they will react differently and try and get out of the photo. If you do it enough or to a big group of people, eventually someone will react and you will then unlock the achievement. Following that last achievement, I found myself located in the park. I felt that this was the perfect opportunity to go for my next achievement, Doggyland. To get this achievement, you simply just have to go around and pet 10 dogs. It can be tricky to locate dogs in certain areas of the map, but if you locate the park, you'll find plenty. Thankfully, to make this achievement even easier, they don't have to be 10 different dogs. This just means that when you find one, you can go over, do it 10 times, and the achievement will then unlock.
What do you think about the current state of affairs?
Part of Watch Dogs, as all the hackers have their own unique style. So I think it's only right to style up. Scattered around San Francisco are plain stock stores. This type of store has various different types of clothing items, but the only one that you're interested in from this shop is the Gator Feet Wine Country footwear. They're basically Crocs. And as an avid Croc wearer, I know they're the most fashionable and comfortable footwear that you can buy on the market. Also, alongside this, you'll get the achievement In Style. The driving in Watch Dogs is actually quite good fun. The mechanics are decent and you can get around quite nice and easy. There is also an excellent fast travel system, so you do find yourself using that quite a bit. However, when you are driving, if you do manage to make 3 jumps in a row using a vehicle, you'll get the achievement 3 times the charm. As you can see from me getting this, the jumps don't have to be substantial in the slightest and they can be little ones. This definitely makes this achievement a lot easier to get. There are many NPCs in the world of Watch Dogs 2. You can interact with the NPCs a lot using your hacks. You can hack their bank accounts and steal their money, you can call the police on them, there's a few different options there. Alongside this, what they get up to can be quite interesting to watch as well. Occasionally you'll find a drunk NPC wandering around the streets, and then every so often they'll be sick. If you somehow capture this on camera, you'll get the achievement Hold My Hair. This for me was an absolute ball ache to get. This was because I was able to find an NPC that was drunk and stumbling all over the place, but they would just not be sick. My advice is just stick with it and just keep looking, because eventually you'll find one like I did. As San Francisco is a big bustling city, obviously there's a lot of public transport. One of these is the bus. Obviously you can ride it like a normal NPC would in this game, or you can hijack it. If you hijack the bus, you'll get an achievement for this too, and that is something to ride. The other main bit of public transport is the cable car. You'll find the cable cars moving around in the main centre of the city. A lot of the time you'll be able to track them using the railway tracks along the road. I'm not sure realistically how often you're going to use it because it moves very slowly and obviously you're stuck to a specific route. However, if you do jump on it and ride it for a little bit, you'll get the achievement Dead Secaroni. Throughout San Francisco, you'll find unique vehicles. These don't actually show up on the map until you get very close to them, so you have to keep an eye out for them. Some of these are very good and very quick, while some of them are a bit novelty. The one that I found was definitely on the novelty side. Usually they're locked in and guarded by either a robot or people. You can obviously use stealth to get the vehicles out, or you can go loud, but once you do this and then ride it, you'll get the achievement, A Ride to Remember. After going after a bunch of the miscellaneous achievements, it's now time to start whittling down the main story achievements. To get these, you just have to finish these operations that get given to you throughout the game. The main story of this game is to continually get fans to join DedSec. This is all in the hope to overtake Bloom. The first of these operations that I went after was Hack and Run. In this operation, a movie studio is releasing a movie that is making hackers look stupid. A key part of this movie is an AI car. DedSec decide the best way to stop this movie from being released is to steal the car and go on a rampage. In this rampage, you escape from police and eventually fly through a billboard of the movie into the river, destroying the car. After completing this, you'll get the achievement Night Ridden. The next operation that I completed was False Prophets. False Prophets follows a fraudulent religious organisation called New Dawn. In this, it's DedSec's responsibility to hack into their financial records and reveal their shady practices. In this operation, you have to infiltrate New Dawn Centre, hacking in to gather information. In this, you want to gain as much information as you can on New Dawn's strange leader. On top of this, you then want to look into their financial reports so you can leak that to the public to make them aware of what's going on. After gaining all of the information that you need, you then leak it to the public, ruining New Dawn's reputation. Alongside this, you'll get the achievement, Baby, I Got Your Money. Alongside the main operations, there's also side operations. Other than XP, these aren't necessary to complete, but if you're going after all of the achievements, some are. One of these side operations are related to e-karts. E-karts are just electronic go-karts. In the start of this side operation, you go for your first race and get absolutely smoked by the competition. You then get asked by the person whose e-kart you're using to get as many upgrades as you can so you can properly compete. Once you've gone out and collected a few different upgrades for the e-kart, you then compete once again, and if you win the race, you'll unlock the achievement, Pimp My E-kart. In DedSec HQ, you're lucky enough to own a 3D printer. Unsurprisingly, you aren't using the 3D printer just to print knickknacks, you are actually using it for illegal activities. In this, you can print guns, gadgets, and even drones. The first time you use this 3D printer to print a two-handed gun, you'll get the achievement Menace. You'll find when you're trying to infiltrate homes, bases and compounds that are owned by Bloom that they'll have robots that are patrolling the area. If they're able to spot you, they will then alert nearby guards or lock down the area. Obviously, you don't want this to happen, so the best way to stop this is to hack the robots directly. When you hack them, you then have a few options on what you want to do to them, but the best that I always find is just to switch them off momentarily. When you do this for the first time, you'll unlock the achievement Roboteer. The next operation is Home Sweet Home. Home are a smart home automation company that uses Bloom. The main focus of this operation is to expose the security vulnerabilities of this company. Through this, you highlight how corporations misuse smart technology for surveillance and data collection. To do this, you infiltrate Home's regional office to hack into their servers and gather intel. After accessing their server, you're then able to use Home's own technology to access the CEO's private residence to expose the security flaws. Once again, you then leak this information to the public, showing Home's systems are vulnerable and being used for mass surveillance. And then as a final touch, Marcus and DedSec play pranks on the CEO by messing with his smart home controls. After doing all of this, you then prove to the public that Home are not to be trusted, and you'll get the achievement No Place Like Home. Continuing with the operations, the next one that I went after was Looking Glass. In this operation, DedSec continue their battle against Bloom and the invasive surveillance systems. Alongside that, this mission involves reconnecting with former DedSec member T-Bone, who's from Watch Dogs 1. To be honest, I played Watch Dogs 1, but it was so long ago I don't really remember him. Out of all the operations, this is probably the least interesting one, as it just sort of requires you to do a lot of hacking. But at the end of it all, you end up at some weird sort of hacking party where there's a competition, and if you manage to hack the dinosaur thing first, you win. Obviously, you and your team win and get whatever weird prize that's probably out there. But the only prize that you're interested in is the achievement, and that is picking up the pieces. After doing a bunch of the main operations, it was now time to look at some more of the side operations. As mentioned before, this isn't necessary for finishing the main game, but it is linked to some achievements. This side operation features a special cameo from Aiden Pierce, who is the main playable character of Watch Dogs 1. In this, DedSec learns that Aiden Pierce has been captured by the Bratva, which is basically the Russian mafia, and is being held in a warehouse. After locating where this heavily guarded warehouse is, Marcus has to sneak in and assist Aiden on escaping. You do this obviously by hacking things and creating distractions for Aiden to be able to escape and fight his way out. Unfortunately, at the end of this operation, you don't actually get to meet Aiden Pierce, but it's good to know that he's still active in the Watch Dogs universe. Once you've done all of this, you'll then unlock the achievement, The Fox. You Be Stolen is another side operation within Watch Dogs 2. This whole operation is an Easter egg as it's set in the San Francisco office of Ubisoft, which is the game's developer. In this operation, you need to find a trailer for an upcoming Ubisoft game and leak it to the public. You do this in the hope to gain some more followers. After hacking into the offices and going from PC to PC, you'll eventually find the trailer and leak it successfully to the public. As mentioned, you'll pick up a bunch of followers and alongside this get the achievement Leaks and Leaks. After completing some of the side operations, it's now time to move back onto the main operations. The next one that I went after was Limp Noodle. This operation contains the company Noodle. Noodle is basically Google. In this, Marcus discovers that all the data that comes in from Noodle searches goes to Bloom directly, who then uses this data to power the Bellwether. The Bellwether is a behavioural prediction system integrated into the CTOS, so alongside Marcus, one of his pals comes up with a plan to hijack the bus and sneak into Noodle HQ. However, when we get to the HQ, it turns out that one of the senior people in Noodle is accusing Marcus's pal of working for DedSec. He is, but we don't want people to know this. Whilst Marcus's friend is getting questioned, it's our job to go in and hack into the servers. As usual, this therefore means that we've got to do a lot of hacking and a lot of leaking. Once we get the information that we need, we can then leave. But firstly, we put all the information on working for DedSec on the person accusing Marcus's friend. After all of this has been done, we get the achievement Informer. Alongside all of the land vehicles that are scattered across San Francisco, there is also boats in the water. This therefore gives you the perfect opportunity to steal as many as you like. The first time that you hijack one of these boats, you'll get an achievement, which is Bad Boys.
Man, you should have seen the smoke that came.
Another side operation that is linked to an achievement is 911. In this, Marcus Holloway uncovers a corrupt group of Oakland police officers who uses the illegal smuggling rings for the cops' benefits. To prove this, Marcus finds where these police officers conduct their illegal activities and hunts them down. After doing this and stopping some of the slightly smaller operations, he now moves on to the main one. This is that there's going to be a police assassination on Alcatraz prison. It turns out that the police have been using this island to kill people that they want to get out of the way. Once you get to the prison, it's up to you to save the prisoner from his execution. You can go about this with stealth, but due to the amount of police that are on the island, this is very difficult. For me, I end up getting it in a full-scale gunfight. After doing this and then escaping the island, you'll get the achievement 100% legit. Alongside the many guns and equipment in this game, you can also stealth take down enemies. This opens up a massive opportunity for stealth throughout the game and is actually quite good. Eventually, after playing through enough of the game, you'll take down enough enemies to get the achievement Knock You Out. 30 really isn't very many due to the amount of circumstances you find yourself to use stealth. The next main operation that I completed was Hacker War. In this mission, DedSec come up against another hacker group called Prime 8. Prime 8 is run by a person called Lenny. In this mission, they have seized DedSec's network, and it's Marcus's job to reclaim it. Prime 8 have a bunker, and this is where the main hack that is holding DedSec's network is located. Marcus sneaks in, taking out the guards, and when he gets there, it turns out it's a trap to take Marcus out. The bunker goes into a self-destruct sequence, and it's Marcus's job to stop this. After defusing the bomb and escaping, this bunker becomes another DedSec hackerspace for the crew. Alongside this, you also get the achievement Sabotage. The next main objective is Watched. In this, DedSec works out that they are being spied on, and it turns out that it's the FBI. To get a better understanding of what the FBI know and what they're after, we have to hack into the FBI servers. Obviously, this isn't as easy as it sounds, seeing as it's the FBI. After doing this and escaping the FBI, you now become the FBI's main target. The FBI don't actually go after Marcus, but go after his friend Wrench, who wears a mask. It looks as if they torture him and then steal his mask, which is a main bit of his identity. Marcus isn't taking any of this, so goes back after the FBI to get Wrench's mask back. Alongside this, they download some more of the FBI's data and release it to the public, showing them what the FBI really are up to. After doing this, you get the achievement Hypnotize. Marcus's pal earlier from the game, Horatio, is the one that works at Google. The crew notify Marcus that no one can get hold of him and he seems to have gone completely dark. Eventually they're able to locate his phone and it turns out he's been kidnapped by one of the local gangs. After working out where these gangs operate, Marcus heads there and unfortunately finds Horatio has been murdered. Here he also finds a phone showing information that the gang are trying to work out more information on DedSec. For revenge, Marcus decides the only way to get back at them is to kill them and destroy all of their product that they are selling. After taking out a few of the smaller operations, Marcus then goes after the main guy. He's located at a dogfight venue nearby, and after taking out as many guards as possible and then finally him, this completes the operation. This gets you the achievement Old School Justice. Continuing with the story, making our way to the final missions, we go after the mission Hack to World. Nearby San Francisco, a company are sending off a bunch of rockets into space but aren't disclosing why. The crew work out that this must be for shady business. To get to the bottom of this, we break into the headquarters of this company and put a virus on the motherboard that is going onto one of the satellites that is going to get launched into space. Once the satellite has gotten into space, Marcus then hacks into it and has a camera view from this satellite. From here, we go through all the different data centers that Bloom operate from, taking them out one by one. After taking them each out and getting the main one at the end, you then get the achievement Joined the Mile High Club. Story Mission 12 is Power to the Sheeple. The objective of this mission is to go to a congressman's penthouse in downtown San Francisco and take the data of his corruption from his computers, using this data to prove that both the congressman and companies are working together to rig elections. After hacking into the computer and getting this information, the next step is to destroy these voting machines that are being used to corrupt the vote. I found this as one of the most difficult missions in the game due to the amount of heavily armed enemies and the amount of voting machines you have to take out that are scattered across the map. This makes it difficult to do it stealthily, so you do find yourself having to go loud. Eventually I was able to complete this and get the achievement Make Every Voice Count. The next story mission is Robot Wars. In my opinion, this is the best mission in the game. In this, DedSec learns of the insidious activity by a robotics company and plans to learn more about their scheme. To do this, you have to infiltrate the headquarters of this company. After breaking into the robotics company and gaining access to their systems, you learn what they've been using the robots to do. They're creating weapons that will be used against the public, which is a big no-no. To make sure that this doesn't happen, Marcus now uses these robots against themselves, destroying everything in their headquarters, resetting them back to square one. After creating a shit ton of destruction, you'll get the achievement, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. The penultimate story mission is Shanghaied. In this mission, one of the gangs have been smuggling hackers into the Bay Area. They have been doing this to gain access to the New York Stock Exchange and make a lot of money. They've been doing this all through a barge that is located in the dock. On this barge, there's a lot of massive servers that is doing all of this damage to the stock exchange. Marcus therefore needs to break onto this barge, destroy some of the servers, and then also escape with one. One key bit of dirty information on these servers is all about the CEO of Bloom. This is the main person that you've been trying to take down from the beginning. They're now able to use this information any way they want. After completing this mission, you'll get the achievement You're on a Boat. The final mission of the story game is Motherlode. To fight against DedSec and Marcus, the FBI place Marcus on the FBI's most wanted list. It's decided the only way to get over this is to infiltrate Bloom directly. To help Marcus, you then play as different members of DedSec completing tasks that will ultimately assist Marcus with completing his main objective. Once getting into the Bloom headquarters, there are a lot of guards. After fighting your way through and taking out as many, you finally get to the main server system of Bloom. Here, you download more dodgy information on the CEO that can be used against him. This isn't it, as you now need to escape, and there is a heavy guard present. After fighting your way through this and escaping, this is now the end of the game. Marcus then lays low and releases all of this information on the Bloom CEO. This all shows the dodgy dealings that has been going on. This then ends with the Bloom CEO being arrested for all the crimes he has committed, and Marcus being released from the FBI's most wanted list. As this is the end of the game, you therefore get an achievement called Hack the World. Now that I've finished the main game, it's time to get the miscellaneous achievements that I've missed, as well as some of the online ones. The first of these is Only God Can Judge Me. To get this, you have to buy a t-shirt in the noodle vending machine. Surprisingly, a noodle vending machine can be found in the noodle building. Thankfully, you can fast travel here, so just fast travel here, go over to the vending machine and purchase a t-shirt and the achievement will pop. Key data is a collectible in this game that you need to get to be able to unlock all of the upgrades. Scattered throughout the map, you have to complete certain puzzles that you will then be able to unlock these from. Obviously, if you want to max out your character, you have to do this anyway, but it is also linked to an achievement. This achievement is Researcher. I think there's around 30 of these scattered around the map, and they are quite good fun to do and aren't too difficult. Once you've done this, you'll then unlock the achievement. The Meringue is a vehicle in the game from Elec Motors. If you were to compare it to a car in real life, it would be the smart car. You can find these vehicles scattered around San Francisco if you're lucky, but otherwise you can buy them from the car dealership. It costs around $60,000, so can be quite expensive. Once you acquire one of these, either by purchasing or finding them around San Francisco, if you then drive it for 4 kilometers, you'll get the achievement Mini Road Trip. I found it easiest just to get onto the highway and just go in a straight line. Next up is another vehicle related achievement. This is Jump Around. To get this, you simply have to complete a jump which is 140 meters long. Obviously it can be longer, but I think you struggle to find many places where you can do one longer. There are a couple of decent places across the map that you can do this on, and I find it easiest to do it with a motorbike. Find one of these spots, go as quickly as you can, and fly through the sky. I think you have to land it, so hopefully you can land it, even like I did for a split second, and then the achievement will pop.
No!
Another set of races that you can do are boat races. I found this to be the hardest out of all the race types due to having to take into consideration the wind, which then impacts your speed. Obviously this is realistic, but it is a bit of a ball ache to do. Thankfully you don't actually have to win the race, you just have to complete it. I finished second in this race, and I did get the achievement, Earn Your Sea Legs. One of the hacks in this game is the ability to hack cars and move them however you want. This can be forward, backwards, or to the side. Throughout the main missions in the game, this isn't totally useful, but you can do it to sort of slow down police cars that are chasing you. However, there is an achievement linked to this. This is to travel 200 meters on a car by hacking it. This can be tricky due to the amount of traffic on the roads, but if you can find a quiet straight road and do this, it's easily achievable. Once you do this, you'll unlock the achievement, Let Me Ride. A slightly less useful hack in this game is the ability to call the police on any NPC in San Francisco. You can also do this but with gangs, but both of these aren't totally useful. One of the NPCs in San Francisco is a man dressed as a donut. If you use the Call the Cops hack on this man and get the cops to come and arrest him, you'll get the achievement Feeding Frenzy. Scattered across San Francisco are Scout X locations. These are opportunities to go over and take pictures which can increase your follower count. It's basically Instagram. If you go on the app, you can find some landmarks that you can go and take pictures of that will boost your follower count. When you do these, you get followers and you can also get some customizable bits. I wasn't really too fussed about the customization aspect, but you do also get an achievement. This is for taking 25 of these pictures, and the achievement is Got the Shutterbug. I've mentioned previously, but you can buy cars in Watch Dogs 2. These range from motorcycles to muscle cars to little novelty ones to supercars. Obviously, the nicer the car, the more expensive they become. There is an achievement linked to this, and that is to buy 25 different cars. Obviously, the best way to do this is buy the cheapest ones possible, but these can still add up because they're usually between 5 and 15 grand. The best way that I found to build up money in this game was to find the safes that are scattered across the map. Some of these contain lots of money, where some of them contain only a couple of thousand. Once you've built this up and bought these cars, the achievement will then pop. Another race type in this game are drone races. In my opinion, this is the best type of race due to the speed and the controls of the drone, meaning you can fly around very quickly. Unlike some of the other races, you're not actually against anyone at the time, you just have to beat a specific time. Once again though, fortunately you don't actually have to win the race, you just have to take part in one. Obviously, if you do win it, you get a bit of extra money and some XP, so it's definitely worth trying still. Regardless though, when you finish, you will get the achievement, I Get Around. And the last race type are motorcycle races. This is exactly what you expect, either off-road or on-road type races. These can be quite tricky, as trying to avoid obstacles can be a bit difficult, but generally it's okay. Again though, thankfully you don't have to win the race. Once you complete it, the achievement will pop, Ain't No Stopping. This then finishes off all the races in this game. The final single player achievement that I needed to collect was Smooth Felon. This one is definitely quite difficult due to a few different factors. To get this achievement, you just simply have to escape a level 5 felony. Due to the amount of heat that you get and police presence, getting to a level 5 felony and not dying is very difficult. And escaping isn't easy as well due to the amount of helicopters that you'll find flying around. The best way that I found was to cause complete chaos, get on a motorbike and use garages to escape. Eventually, if you avoid the police for long enough, you will escape and lose the 5-star rating. Once this happens, you'll get the achievement. It was now time to finish off the rest of the achievements, which means that I have to go online. There's a few different options that you get when playing Watch Dogs 2 online. These are invading other people's games and trying to take them out whilst they're escaping from the police, having other people attempt to take you out whilst you're escaping from the police, partnering up with people to complete missions, and joining other people's games and hacking them, which means staying near them and staying hidden. The first one I chose was to join other people's games and take them out. If you successfully manage to do this 5 times, you'll get the achievement, Please Marcus, Don't Hurt Them. This does come down to the ability of the other player, so can be difficult against certain people. I was surprised there's so many people still playing this game, so I thought that was going to be an issue, but thankfully I was able to get it done pretty quickly. Next, it was my turn to be on the other side. Thankfully, you can launch a lobby and people will join your game pretty quickly. That's if people are still playing the game, but I didn't have an issue. I then found that it was easiest to find a location where you can sort of bunker down and then take people out as they come. As soon as you activate this mission, you will go to 5 stars, so the police presence will be massive. That's why bunkering down can be the easy option. Then all you have to do is wait for the unsuspecting person to fall into your trap and take them out. Once you do this, you'll get the achievement, Natural Born Killer. After spending some time in PvP, it was now time to do some co-op. As mentioned previously, there is also co-op missions in this game. This gives you small little tasks to complete with up to 3 other people. These consist from stealing vehicles, to hacking certain objects, or just freeing prisoners. Some of these are easier than others, but you can select which one you do, so that is helpful. When you're successfully able to complete one of these, you'll then get the achievement, Hold My Hand. It's now time for the penultimate achievement in this game. This one is One of the Gang. This is similar to the other one where you have to complete tasks, but this time you can do it alone. You can also do it with other people, and I do feel like that makes it much easier. For this achievement, you have to complete 5 DedSec events. These consist of very similar objectives to the previous achievement, but this time they're definitely a lot harder. The one that I completed over and over again was the one to upload viruses. This was because you could complete it solo. This does make it much harder though. I found the best way to complete this was to find the best hiding place you can and just avoid any fighting, because there are a lot of police that come. When you complete the 5th event, the achievement will then pop. The final achievement that I got in this game was Troller. This again is another online game mode and is the final game mode that I haven't yet played. In this, you join another player's game and you have to hack them. You hack them by getting as close to them as possible and activating the hack and then staying within a radius. As the hack progresses, the other player gets notified to a more accurate location to where you may be. You just have to remain hidden and stay away from this person. If they find you, the hack fails and you get kicked out of the lobby. Fortunately, I was able to do this first time as I wasn't really looking forward to it because I remember in Watch Dogs 1 many years ago I really struggled in this game mode. And with that, that was my final achievement of this game.
Can't keep me out.
So, Watch Dogs 2. I remember playing Watch Dogs 1 when it first came out all those years ago, and I did enjoy it. It wasn't the best game in the world, but it was definitely fun. With that being said though, I definitely enjoyed Watch Dogs 2 much more. I think this just was because of the setting and the sort of game style just made it a lot more enjoyable, whereas Watch Dogs 1 was just very dingy and I remember it being quite boring actually. San Francisco as a setting I think is great as there's a lot going on and the use of tech throughout San Francisco in real life really mends with this game really, really well. The operations are great, some of them are really memorable, and they offer enough difference between them that they don't get repetitive and boring, even though a lot of them consist around going somewhere and hacking something. The stealth's great, the guns are great, overall I just think it's a lot of fun. Even with a game like this, I actually quite enjoyed the single player, and the achievements there were decent too. I would definitely recommend this to anyone that's looking to play an open world game that isn't massive, but still got plenty of stuff to do. If you've made it to this point of the video, I really appreciate it, and if you haven't already, a like and a subscribe goes a long way. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.